Gardens are becoming quite common in all educational stages, from kindergarten to university, because they constitute real contexts that allow teachers providing with outdoor experiences to students without the need to travel outside the educational center. And so when you can integrate science education or environmental education with outdoor experience, with an outdoor experience, that's perfect, because outdoor experiences are really necessary to promote cognitive and attitudinal learnings and to develop values, beliefs, and moral perspectives in students in general. In science education, we talk about the importance of the context. It's very important not to learn theoretically, but to learn from a context, or to learn in such a way that the knowledge has a meaning and has a purpose and it's useful for something. And so gardens have all these elements. They are real context, they are ecological systems with the same elements as nature, and where the same elements, the same processes occur. So you can approach the study of those elements and processes scientifically. And also they are very useful because everything that happens or you need to decide on in the garden has a link to a wider environmental issue, let's say. Yeah, it's very important that you always work with this double perspective, that having the hands-on part, but also the minds-on part. Then you need to plan activities to do in the classroom or in the garden that complement the what means maintaining a garden. I mean, the garden is not only. It is, but not only to see, to water, it's not only those things. A garden is an ecosystem. And I would say that the most important thing is that students develop that understanding of ecosystems and their functioning. Ecosystems are complex systems with a lot of different elements that interact among them in different ways. And so the most important thing is to develop that holistic point of view. I would say that the optimum is to start as soon as possible. We always, I work on focus in preschool education, and we always talk about the importance of starting as soon as possible, starting with science education, starting with all kinds of things that we want to learn or we want to develop in students. The best thing is to start as soon as possible. And then garden as a context, it provides you the chance to work and learn from preschool or kindergarten to university. Because what happens is that you learn different things and with different levels of complexity or deepness, let's say. So if you use a garden with very young children, they can start learning to sow, to observe plant cycle, to water, to harvest. Afterwards, they can learn to make compost, they can learn to prepare seed beds, for instance. Later, then they can start appreciating pollinators' diversity, they can start studying soil, or even they can learn to design a garden itself and to plant the crops. And there is always the chance to deepen in every single topic, and also to relate it to broader environmental issues that are occurring in the world, like water management, pest management, or decisions around food, or and so I would say the best is to start as young as possible, but the most important thing to me is that it's a kind of didactic resource that you can use at all ages, and it's always useful and it's always versatile, and it provides you with a real context to explore a wide range of issues. Well, food is essential for life, and the way in which we produce and transport and consume food is having a huge impact on the planet. And so it's very important not to talk only about healthy food or healthy nutrition, but also about sustainable nutrition. Nutrition is one of the key elements within the 2030 agenda. It's included in several sustainable development goals because it's a topic that has many dimensions, like the social, how food is produced, for instance, the political, the economic, and the environmental dimensions. So there are a lot of things or topics or environmental issues which are related to food, to the way we produce, transport, package, sell food, buy food, and diets are fundamental. If we want to attain, let's say, sustainable lives, we need to wonder about what we eat, where we buy, how it is produced, and all that kind of topics. And the garden is a perfect place to talk, at least, about vegetables and fruits. It's the way you can see that food is produced here. You start wondering how to do it. Do I really want to use chemical products? How do I use water? Which water? Can I use rainwater? Or you start asking yourself questions about the way we produce food. So it's perfect for students to start approaching the topic of sustainable nutrition. That's the ideal, but if you don't have it, as far as you have sunlight to be able to grow plants, there are creative manners to... The basic would be to be capable of growing plants inside the classroom, inside the educational center. And then the next thing is to be creative, like to think about how to do it. And in fact, there are like many ways. The most important thing is that students have this task that they have living beings and they need to care for them and they need to grow them, and probably those living beings will provide them with food. That would be the basics. But then you can have a vertical garden, or you can have just some, it's like recycling boxes, or there are very creative ways to do it. I don't know, I would say we live with a big inertia, the way we live, the way we buy, we consume, all the stuff we have, and we are like used to a very comfortable life. The point is that to be comfortable is not the same as being happy, and maybe that's what we need to learn. We need to learn that one is more happy when we do things that he or she really believes in. When you are fighting or you are acting for something, then everything makes more sense. Thinking that we are an exception, a different thing, and we can do things in another manner, but that's not true, because we are exploding all the resources. We are producing huge amounts of garbage that the planet cannot deal with, and because we are not an exception, we are part of everything. And we need to develop our holistic thinking, a way like seeing things not in this little small part, realizing that everything is interconnected and one thing depends of another amount of things. And so there are all these relations which are strong but delicate, and we need to see them, to be aware that they exist. And we need to put nature in the center, to be much more ecocentric than we are. We are absolutely centered in ourselves, what I need, what I want. I want these trousers now, then I want tattoos. No, that's the way we... And it would be placing in this education should place in the center what is the most important, and the most important is life. If we want to keep alive and to keep the planet healthy, the most important is life and its processes. How to sustain life, how to regenerate what we have already damaged. How can I regenerate the soil? How can I clean this pond that I have polluted? Or no? How can I use this resource in the best manner? and that should be the future of education. If there is not water, snow, a cold, then things simply won't work, and we won't be capable of surviving. It's like very clear for me. I don't know.